Okay, well, Rob, thanks so much for taking the time to give us a little insight on what's happening at Textron. A few weeks ago, there was the announcement of some rolling furloughs for 4 weeks. Now I understand it's been extended to 8 weeks. Can you give us some insight about what's happening around the factory? Much production at all?
Yeah, sure. So we are actually having production right now. As you mentioned, we did have the announcement of 4 weeks of furlough, and we have extended that to 8 weeks on some of the lines. Really, the first priority is the safety of our employees. Here in Wichita, the peak of the COVID issues was forecasted to happen in late April. And so obviously with that timing, we made the decision to do the furloughs, protection of our employees. And also with as much uncertainty as it is in the marketplace, that gives us the option to, work on production levels in a way that we think will adjust for market demand going forward. So there are employees back to work. As I look out my window here over at our factory, we have employees back building airplanes and components. And during that whole time, we've had a lot of the team here doing a lot of work getting airplanes delivered to customers. We do still have deliveries ongoing. So hasn't been totally quiet, but it's nice to see the people in the factory starting to get back to work, and we'll continue to monitor the furloughs as we go forward.
Yeah. So what sort of precautions are you providing for the employees during this time?
Yeah, so it's been a great learning experience, and we have a dedicated team here who's been really focused 24 hours a day on what we need to do. So obviously, when the situation started to become more severe back in March, we took steps to immediately start to do social distancing. We started providing PPE to the employees of protection equipment. Also accelerated our cleaning in all buildings. Obviously, we have a pretty large campus here in Wichita and around the world, and so we've accelerated cleaning, and we are trying to do social distancing and encouraging employees to work from home. This is actually something that for us, while here in the United States, it's really started to become more of an issue in February and March, but we've been dealing with this since December and January with our teams over in Asia. So we have employees in China, Singapore that were kind of at the first wave of this. So we had those teams that were working through it, and that gave us some tools here to leverage. So as the employees come back to work, we put processes in place to do screening of employees and visitors, to screen for where they've been, if they're exhibiting any symptoms, and then based on what those screenings tell us, we're taking the appropriate steps to have employees stay home or encouraging visitors to take other steps.
Mm-hmm. What's it mean for the development of the Sky Courier and Denali? Are they still on track?
Well, the team right now on the Sky Courier is working really hard. They did take a little bit of furlough time during the first 4 weeks just to make sure from a protection standpoint we were protecting our employees, but they are back to work, and the team is making rapid progress there, and I'm hoping to have some pretty exciting news on the Sky Courier. So really the Sky Courier program is full speed ahead. On the Denali program, we're still kind of where we have been in our recent comments on that. We're working with GE to understand the timing on the Catalyst engine. The Catalyst engine is, from a performance standpoint, is doing fantastic in the test cells. What we're waiting on is the first engines that we can get on the airplane and get that airplane in the air. The teams here have been doing a great job of getting the test articles built, the prototypes, and we hope to release some more information as we get better timing from GE on the engine.
Okay. So last week, Textron had a investor call, and it came out that citation deliveries in the first quarter of 2020 were about half of what they were in same quarter 2019. Also, turboprops were in that similar market, except caravans, I think, were even less than that, down from 15 to 5. Pretty significant declines there. How much of that do you think is related to what's happening from a pandemic standpoint, or are there other market forces going on here?
Well, actually, I think there's probably three forces that are going on that cause those numbers that you talk about. The thing that even we forget about now is back in December 27th, we had the plant explosion in our composite facility here in Wichita. And obviously that was a very serious event. And when that occurred, we expected that to be the biggest issue that affected us in 2020. Little did we know at that time that we would have the COVID crisis. So there was always going to be a delay in some deliveries and some build schedules because of that. We did have some issues with customers towards the end of the quarter. coming in to take delivery of airplanes. And so we've been working with them to adjust delivery timing as international borders close. And even in the U.S., some customers having trouble traveling. So our customers have been incredibly flexible. We've been working with them. I think we've had great responses. And so there was some timing there from the COVID. There was some market dynamics that you see in the first quarter. Again, we're a large international company. We do a lot of business around the world. And so in Asia particularly, we started to see some market slowdown early in the year. And particularly that's a market that's usually strong in the caravan. So I think that you take those three components together, I think they probably all shared equally in the first quarter numbers that we had.